the national affairs. So, what are the important national events which will be definitely pointing in the examination? So, we will be just throwing a light on it. Okay, we will be just focusing on the topics. Okay, it's you to make a notes of it. Okay, so to extract much more information from the Google. Okay, fine, and have a very good notes. So remember, the day you revise. Okay, following the day you can have a confidence in the examination that this question I can put it okay exactly right. Following, so the national affairs from 1st to 15th of October 2018. So very first, on 1st October, you see President Ramnath Kovind gives his assent to Karnataka Good Samaritan Bill. So this is the first time in India that a Good Samaritan Protection Bill is being tabled by the Karnataka Assembly. Okay, following, and it is being also given his the assent by the President Ramnath Kovind. So according to this Good Samaritan Bill, so there will be a protection from the government of Karnataka to the people who help the victims of road accidents during their golden hour. So previously in the year 2016, Supreme Court of India ruled that if any person helps the victims of road accidents, calls the ambulance and provides the first aid services, will not be prosecuted anymore by the police or even by the courts. And it is very important to serve them within their golden hour. So remembering that, so honoring that rule, the Karnataka government has introduced Good Samaritan Bill to protect the people under Article 200 of the Constitution. So this is the first state, okay, fine, which has introduced a bill to protect the persons, okay, citizens of the nation who are coming forward to help the victims of road accidents. Next, Union Minister of Power, Natural Gas and Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Sri Dharmendra Pradhan has inaugurated SATAT scheme, Sustainable Alternative Towards Affordable Transportation. So this SATAT scheme, SATAT, Sustainable Alternative Towards Affordable Transportation, according to this initiative, the government will boost up the availability of more affordable alternative fuel to the nation. And one more news here is UPSC, the Union Public Service Commission, so which conducts examination for highest post in India like IAS, IPS, IFS, IFOS, IRS, such kind of examinations, has recently announced that UPSC to allow the candidates to withdraw their applications. So this facility is the first time, okay, by a recruitment board in India, that if any aspirant is unwilling to give his attempt, even after submitting his application, okay, he can withdraw the application, okay, following, so from the UPSC. So this is the first time, okay, following under the chairman of Arvind Saxena, the UPSC chairman. So this kind of ruling was made by UPSC. So this is good news for the candidates, okay, fine, who do not want to write the examination for this year. Next, Assam CM Sarbananda Sonowal has launched wage compensation scheme for pregnant women who are working in tea gardens. So according to this wage compensation scheme, so the pregnant woman whoever working in the tea gardens will be provided rupees 12,000 at 4 installments, which are helpful for their to them during delivery, and also a leave of 3 months, okay, to total of 6 months, okay, after delivery 3 months, before delivery 3 months, a total of 6 months is also provided to them, okay, following. So for these 6 months the government will provide the necessary goods and services, okay, so and also provides the important utilities, okay, under PDS, public distribution system, and Assam is the first state in India to offer such services, okay, among 23 states which are having tea plantations. So, tea growers in India are having, okay, fine, their potentiality in 23 states, and you know that Assam is the major state major, okay, tea producing state in India. So, therefore, so Sarbananda Sonowal, the CM of Assam, has taken this decision to provide a wage compensation scheme, okay, fine, to help the pregnant women, okay, fine, at free of cost, and rupees 12,000 is being offered, okay, fine, to her in cash at 4 installments. So, even okay, we can see that until 2016, so Assam in India is a major state having mortality rates. So, maternal mortality rates or infant mortality rates. So, Assam was okay, ranked highest in having those mortality rates. To decrease those mortality rates, okay, so the CM of Assam has taken this decision to provide wage compensation scheme. So, for the first time in India, the Odisha government has itself has announced that the state is going to provide the state food security scheme. Apart from the national food security scheme, okay, the state's own food security scheme is being announced by the Odisha CM Naveen Patnaik. So, according to this, the poor people who are not covered under national security scheme, okay, so they can just get benefit. So, nearly 18.32 lakh poor people who are eligible to get the PPL services, okay, will be offered the food security, okay, at rupees 1 for at rupees a 5 kg rice is being offered at rupees 1. So, this is a very important again. Next, India ranks 5th in the world in terms of largest pictorial warnings on cigarette packets. So, India ranks 5th in the world, okay, on pictorial graphics. So, there will be a warning on the cigarette packets or on the tobacco packets. So, India ranks 5th on this. So, the first is Timor Leste, the second is Nepal, third Vanuatu, fourth New Zealand. India ranks 5th along with Hong Kong and Thailand. So, remember in the examination this will be highlighted. Okay. So, this will be highlighted. So, like so India along with Hong Kong and Thailand are being recognized as the 5th largest country, okay, following. So, which is providing the pictorial graphics on the cigarette packets and tobacco packets. So, this is very again important for the examination point of view. So, according to the report is given by Canadian Cancer Society. So, Canadian Cancer Society has released this report. So, Madhya Pradesh state has created its 52nd district, named it as Niwari district. So, Niwari district is in the north, okay, so nearing Uttar Pradesh, so nearing Jhansi district as well as Uttar Pradesh state. So, this was created as a new district, okay, following, and with an effect from 1st October 2018. And Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare has requested the Ministry of Panchayati Raj as well as the state governments to inform the Gram Sabhas across the country, again to inform to the farmers, okay, and bring an awareness to them about enrollment and importance of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bhima Yojana for upcoming Rabi season. So, the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, okay, following. So, is a nodal agency which implements Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bhima Yojana. So, this Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bhima Yojana was started in 2016, in the year 2016. So, it provides insurance, crop insurance okay, to Kharif and Rabi seasons. So, at a premium of rupees, that is at a premium of 2% for Kharif crop and 1.5% for Rabi crop. And another one more important news about Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is from this year onwards, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is also offered to the farmers, okay, where their crop is being damaged by wild animals. So, it may be the birds or wild boars. Okay, so, if there is a damage from the wild animals, even then, okay, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is being offered. So, earlier this was offered due to the cyclones or failure of the crops, okay, due to unturning of monsoons, low rainfall, drought conditions, okay, etc., or even floods. Okay. So, now even due to the wild animals, if there is any damage to the crops, the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana can be claimed by the agriculturist. So, this is a very good news for Indian agriculture. So, let the farmers have an awareness about this. So, that is why the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare has announced, okay, the Ministry of Panchayati Raj and state governments to inform to the farmers and give awareness about the importance of this Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana for upcoming Rabi crop. So, now we are in a Rabi crop which will be from November to December. So, until from November to February, so the Rabi season, okay, will be there in India. On October 3rd, India's and Asia's first dolphin research center was being launched in India. So, it is named as National Dolphin Research Center, will be set up on the banks of river Ganga in Patna University campus of Bihar. So, Patna is on the banks of river Ganga, okay, following. So, there is a Patna University campus, okay, in Patna of Bihar. So, National Dolphin Research Center will be, okay, set up in this place, and it is India's and Asia's first dolphin research center. And remember, river dolphin is India's national aquatic animal. So, this was announced in the year 2009, and also it is a endangered mammal. So, dolphins are being named as the national aquatic animal because these dolphins in river Ganga has proved that not total 2626 kilometers of river Ganga is being polluted. Only the few locations, only the few pilgrimage where human activity is more, there the river Ganga is being polluted. Why? Because river dolphin cannot sustain, cannot live in dirty waters, in polluted waters. So, therefore, if there is a pollution, okay, following, so we cannot find the river dolphins there. But since 2008, 2009 onwards, we are seeing the multiplication of the dolphin populations in the holy river of India, that is Ganga. So, therefore, it is being named as aquatic animal and it is an endangered mammal. Now, we are going to protect it more, so that we are going to take care of it. So, therefore, we have set up National Dolphin Research Center in Patna of Bihar. So, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated first assembly of International Solar Alliance in New Delhi. Okay, so as well as second Indian Ocean Rim Association Renewable Energy Ministerial meeting is also being inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and also second Global Renewable Energy Investment Meeting. So, all these are being inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 1st and 2nd of October 2018 in presence of UNO Secretary General Mr. Antonio Guterres. So, this is the first time that Antonio Guterres, the UNO Secretary General, has made his visit to India. So, in his presence, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated the first meeting of International Solar Alliance in New Delhi. And remember, International Solar Alliance is a pride of India because its headquarters are set up in New Delhi of India. So India is going to show the world about the uses of renewable energy. So India is going to provide its support to reduce the pollution through thermal energy. So therefore, now we are going to develop the solar energy in India with the help of France in collaboration with French technology. So we are providing the solar energy to the tropical nations in the world. So International Solar Alliance first meeting was held in New Delhi of India, and as well as second Ocean Rim Association Renewable Energy Ministerial meeting is also being held in New Delhi on the same day. Again on 3rd October 2018, so Ranjan Gogoi was being sworn in as 46th President of India. He took oath as 46th CJI in presence of Ram Nath Kovind, the President of India. And he is the first Northeast person, okay, to take charge as CJI of India. Next, Samudra Maitri. So Samudra Maitri is a massive humanitarian operation which was launched by India to provide assistance to earthquake and tsunami hit Indonesia. So recently in the month of October, so a tsunami followed by earthquake followed by tsunami was being hit to Indonesian coast of Sumatra. So therefore, so India has also provided its humanitarian assistance and named the operation as Samudra Maitri. So for the first time in India, Bombay Stock Exchange to launch commodity derivatives contract. So this commodity derivatives contract is not yet being used in India till today, and the Bombay Stock Exchange has started, okay, the commodity derivatives contract in gold and silver commodities. So this comes under gold monetization scheme of Government of India, okay, and to extract nearly 300 tons of gold from unused gold from India, and this is also named as old gold, 300 tons of old gold. So World Peace Monument Dome. So again India is in news in the world as World Peace Monument Dome. The world's largest dome was being inaugurated by at the Maharashtra Institute of Technology. So the Maharashtra Institute of Technology has made a venue for the largest World Peace Monument Dome. So in the university campus at Loni Kalbar on the occasion of 149th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. And the dome has a diameter of 160 feet and 263 feet tall. Vatican Dome was the, now it is the second, okay, earlier it was the first one, okay, or the largest dome, okay, it has nearly 139.6 feet diameter. So Udyam Abhilasha. So Udyam Abhilasha is a national level campaign launched by SIDBI, Small Industries Development Bank of India. So this is an Udyam Abhilasha is an awareness program to highlight the national level entrepreneurship. So SIDBI, Small Industries Development Bank of India, it was established in 1990 under the Act of Parliament and works under IDBI Bank, Industrial Development Bank of India, and SIDBI's headquarters are at Lucknow. So it has started a program to bring an awareness about national entrepreneurship known as Udyam Abhilasha. A National Institute of Mental Health Rehabilitation Center to be established, okay, and it is being approved by Union Cabinet. The institute to be set up in Sehor district of Madhya Pradesh, and it will be first of its kind in India. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi has presented Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin Awards 2008 on October 6, 2018. So it is being presented to honor the states as well as district administration. Okay, so whoever are the part of Swachh Bharat mission to provide clean drinking water and also okay to provide sanitation for all. So therefore Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin Awards. So the overall best state in India under Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin Award is Haryana, and the best district is Satara district of Maharashtra, and the maximum citizen participation under the survey of Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin Award is Uttar Pradesh. So according to zonal rankings, so in the north it is Haryana, south Andhra Pradesh, east Chhattisgarh, west Gujarat, northeast Sikkim, and in the Union Territory category it is Dadar and Nagar Haveli. So remember, Sikkim is ranked as the best among the northeastern states, and Sikkim is the first state in India which has announced as the ODF state. The first ODF, open defecation free state in India is Sikkim. So therefore under Swachh Bharat mission or Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin Award, Sikkim from northeast India is the best state okay under the Swachh Bharat or ODF. And coming to zonals, so zonal wise the districts, so in the north it is Rewari of Haryana, south Peddapalli of Telangana, east Surajpur of Chhattisgarh, west Satara of Maharashtra, and northeast Tawang of Arunachal Pradesh. So remember two places here northeast, one is Tawang of Arunachal Pradesh regarding the districts, and the other one is states. So northeastern states in Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin Awards is Sikkim. So Sikkim is was formed in 1975. So it is being the first ODF state. Coming to Arunachal Pradesh, Tawang region. So Tawang region is always under controversy. So we are having a issue of border between India and China in the Arunachal Pradesh along the Tawang region. So China claims that Tawang is Chinese territory, and India claims that Tawang is a part of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so the what is the main point here? Okay, that both nations are claiming okay for one and other regarding Tawang. So it is Tawang has a most important Buddhist monastery okay where most of the Chinese pilgrims visit Tawang. So therefore okay, so Tawang is being also named as best district under Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin Award, so that India can bring and highlight Tawang okay fine as it is an Arunachal Pradesh district and it is part of India, so that even the world can recognize it. So this is the main ideology. So anyhow okay following, so regarding the development goals, SDG, sustainable development goals. So Swachh Bharat mission comes under sixth goal okay, that is to ensure availability of drinking water and also providing sanitation for all. So this is the sixth goal under SDG. So there are 17 goals, total 17 goals, 17 in SDG okay, which was started from 2015, and by the end of 2030 SDG goals must be reached. So the target year is 2030. So another is DG Yatra. So Union Ministry of Civil Aviation has released a policy on biometric. So based on Aadhaar biometrics, so therefore the digital processing of passengers at airport regarding the digitalizing the ticket booking, airport entry, boarding pass, security check, etc., all will be held on paperless. Okay, so therefore, a digital biometric will be taken by the Government of India under AAI, Airports Authority of India. So once this is done, so by the end of April 2019, so all the Airports Authority of India airports working under AAI, okay, so is going to introduce a paperless transport facility. So therefore, DG Yatra helps the citizens for fast, safe and security process of boarding or even buying or showing the uh, ticket booking to the security check. India International Science Festival IISF 2018 has begun in Lucknow, so with the theme Science for Transformation. So India International Science Festival, so this is being held in Lucknow with the theme Science for Transformation. Okay, so the most of the scientists across the world has took part in this event, and India also showcased, okay, highlighted its science inventions and also inventions in the ISRO, in space and also in medicine, and also helpful for security purpose. And GI tag for Alfonso mangoes. So Alfonso mangoes are named as king of mangoes. Mangoes is named as the king of all the fruits. Within the mangoes, Alfonso mangoes is known as king of mangoes, and it is in the local name it is called as Hapus in Maharashtra. So therefore, the Alfonso mangoes, which are mostly grown in Ratnagiri district, Sindhudurg, Palgha, Thane and Raigad districts. So these 5 districts are being chosen, okay, to produce, to cultivate the Alfonso mangoes, and it is provided a geographic indication tag. So remember, so earlier GI tag was given to Kadaknad chicken from Madhya Pradesh, and also Adilabad Dokra, a metal craft from Telangana, and Warangal Dharis, so a kind of blankets, black blankets from Warangal, so weightless. Okay, so these are given. So Warangal Dharis, Adilabad Dokra, then Kadaknath chicken, all black, feathered bones, meat, eggs, etc. So the complete hen will be in black color. So which contains of rich proteins, high energetic proteins are there in this Kadaknath chicken. So the government of India has recognized, and okay, it was being named as, okay, geographic indication, okay, so that other people cannot cultivate it, cannot produce it, okay, so cannot domesticate it. So for the agriculture, for the natural and handicrafted things, geographic indication is provided. In India, since 2003 onwards, geographic indication is being identified in India, and in 2004 the first GI tag was given to Darjeeling tea. So Darjeeling tea. So hundreds of GI indications are being recognized in India. So I request the aspirants to remember only the first one and the current year geographic indication tags to any product. So in the year 18, Kadaknath chicken, Warangal Dharis, Adilabad Dokra, Alfonso mangoes. So these are provided. Earlier, of course, Tirupati Laddu, Banaras saris, Chirala, okay, so even Pista House Halim. So these are offered as GI tags. So GI tags are being offered so that another persons cannot copyright, cannot defame the product. And GI is covered as element of intelligent property rights under Paris Convention for Protection of Industrial Property. So in India, GI, Geographic Indication of Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999 governs it. At international level, GI tags are being governed by WTO, World Trade Organization. So Nirmal Kusuma. So Nirmal Kusuma is a program launched by Odisha government to help the children of construction workers to get trained in India's, so in industrial training institutions and polytechnics. So rupees 23,600 per annum is offered per child to provide him to study in ITI, and 26,300 per annum is provided to a student who wants to study polytechnic courses. So this is the first time in India that a state government is offering a scholarship, a kind of thing, to help the children of construction workers, okay, following, to study the ITIs or polytechnics, that is diplomas. Canaan-Distemper virus, so very important again. So Canaan-Distemper virus is a dangerous virus, okay, which is commonly seen in lion. So recently Gir National Park, so the Gir Forest Authority has announced that the lions of Gir National Park are facing a severe problem with this CVC virus. So this deadly virus, okay, has taken the lives of nearly 20 lions in last month. So therefore the government of India has announced that Canaan-Distemper virus, okay, is a deadly virus, and this virus should be cured as soon as possible, okay, and it is a viral disease that infects the gastrointestinal, respiratory and central nervous system of lions. Of course, this virus is also can be found in dogs. So dogs also sometimes faces these gastroenterology diseases, okay, following. So due to this they cannot digest the foods. So therefore if it is being affected with the virus, they will die, okay, very soon. So remember, Gir National Park or Gir the Forest Authority is very important in the world, as Gir is a location in Gujarat. It is a place where you can find largest number of lions, Asiatic lions in the world. So if these Asiatic lions get extinct, so we cannot have the Asiatic lions in the world itself. So therefore the forest officials are taking utmost, okay, necessary actions to curb this deadly virus. Next, strategic policy group. So the government of India has set up a strategic policy group, which is also known as SPG, okay, to help the National Security Council. So therefore which this SPG will advise the Prime Minister on matters of security and strategic interest. So very interesting is, so it will be headed by the National Security Advisor to Prime Minister, Ajit Doval. So the strategic policy group works under National Security Advisor, and the members are drawn from various ministries as well as departments. So nearly 20 to 25 members will serve, okay, fine, in this SPG group, strategic policy group. This is very important, okay, as even the RBI governor is also, and the Lok Sabha secretary, so Home Secretary, so even Ministry of External Affairs Secretary. So all these will be the members of this organization to safeguard India's security and strategic interest. Remember, for modern history this is important, Choturam. So Choturam, a 64-foot tall statue of peasant leader Sir Choturam was being unveiled at his native village Sampala in Haryana's Rohtak district. So he was born on November 24th, 1881 and was regarded as Messiah of peasants. And he has fought for farmers' rights during the British rule. He was also co-founder of National Unionist Party, which ruled all-time Punjab province in pre-independent India. And he has a title of Rauf Bahadur and popularly known as Deen Bandhu. So Chotu Ram, a 64-foot tall statue, was being unveiled at Rohtak district of Haryana. So he is best known as peasant leader. So this question is a part of modern history, so it may be asked in the examination of any competitive exams. Cyclone Titli. So Cyclone Titli is a cyclone storm which has hit the east coast of India from the Bay of Bengal. So the north of Andhra Pradesh and south of Odisha regions has got hit with this cyclone Titli. So according to the National Disaster Relief Fund, so nearly 14 to 15 persons has been died in this cyclone, and more of the agriculture as well as plantations and animal loss was being found in the regions of Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. And another cyclone in the west coast of India in the Arabian Sea named as Luban has hit the Gujarat. So there is no loss from this cyclone. So remember, major cyclones will occur in the east coast of India. So and the cyclones we find from April to December, and the devastating cyclones will occur from November to December. So according to National Disaster Management Authority, okay, fine. So the people will get alerted during these 2 months. And so cyclone Titli and cyclone Luban. So how these names are being how these cyclones are being named actually. So the International Panel on Tropical Cyclones assigns some countries, like 8 countries which are part of this Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea. So only Oman is part of this Arabian Sea, and the rest of the countries are India, Indonesia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Thailand, Sri Lanka, etc., and even Cambodia. So these countries, okay, has given total of 64 names to International Panel on Tropical Cyclones. So when there is a cyclone storm in a particular region, among these 64 names, that country can choose, okay, their name. For example, Titli is part of 64 names, and it is chosen by the regional tropical panel, that is IMD. So India Meteorological Department has chosen Titli this time for the cyclone which has hit on October 7th, 2018 to the Odisha as well as Andhra Pradesh. So therefore, there are total 64 names to be named for cyclones, so among 64. And remember, if there is a small cyclone, so there is no much distraction due to this. So if there is a name given to that, and it can be renamed, or that name can be reused after 6 years. And if there is a huge massive category 5, that is 240 kilometers of wind speed of wind, okay, devastating storms, cyclones, so like Hudhud, so those cyclones names cannot be repeated. So this is the rule of International Panel on Tropical Cyclones. Next, a report titled Strengthening Forest Fire Management in India is being released. It is prepared and released by Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change as well as World Bank. So this is the first time that a joint report was being released by World Bank and Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change, okay, following to safeguard the forest in India. So, according to the report, nearly 50% of forest fires occurs in northeastern states, and nearly India incurs a loss of 1100 crores per annum due to forest fires. And among India, central India, okay, is affected due to the forest fires. So, the most of the forest fires occurs due to the man-made mistakes. So, this is a report given by the World Bank along with Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So, this is again very important. And in another one is National Environment Survey. So, the very first time that the Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change is going to conduct a National Environment Survey, okay, following a single survey, okay, following. So, to give a complete picture about India's position of environment regarding atmosphere, regarding forest, regarding climate, regarding pollution, regarding landforms, regarding aquatic, okay, so regarding, okay, so human activities involved, etc., etc. So, this is the first time that India is going to, okay, prepare a national environment survey following. So, this, that's all. This is about the national affairs of the day.